York City. What a terrific view of the Manhattan skyline. Live from New York, 2K Sports proudly brings you Knicks basketball. A quick check now at the starting five for both teams. A factor in every game, Carmelo Anthony will be on display.
Yeah, you know, even from his college days at Syracuse, Carmelo has always had the ability to step up in crunch time and more often than not deliver. When the fourth quarter rolls around, he seems to take his game to another level.
Well, with the way that Melo is able to create his own shot, Steve, off the dribble or in the post, that makes him very valuable and dangerous, particularly in the fourth quarter. I mean, he's a guy that makes it really hard to defend him because he's so versatile.
The Hawks here looking to pick up one on the road before returning to Atlanta. This game's going to be a challenge for them. Facing one of the top-tier teams in the league, they'll have to be at their best to steal a win here.
So I think for the Hawks, they've been totally out of sync at the beginning of this season. They still haven't found their identity. They don't know who they are and what they do best.
I have no idea what they are either, Clark. I mean, this is a team that really is just kind of hard to figure out. And I think they may have to make some changes to try to get themselves going. Great move to the hoop, and I love the finger roll finish.
The Hawks last season weren't really a bad offensive team, but they did have one of the more memorable offensive nights, and not for anything positive. In the January game against the tough Bulls team, the Hawks only scored 58 points over the course of the entire game.
Here's T. After the made shot from Mr. Clutch. Pass to Bullock. He dishes it to Dudley. Nice ball movement here by Atlanta. Teague with the ball, and that one's good. Teague's got his second basket of the night. As you said, the Hawks had one of the worst offensive nights, Clark, in the NBA, but overall, we're a solid offensive team right around the middle of the league. Steve just goes to show what can happen when a team goes cold.
Yeah, when you don't have that one guy who you can always lean on to score, I mean, there are going to be some nights where everything just misses. And I think that was the case that game against Chicago. It was kind of bizarre, but hey, over the course of 82 games, it's going to happen.
Now T. Following the miss by J.R. Smith from deep. And Stoudemire with the block. And it was not a clean block. Whistle blows and a foul on the defender here. It's a shooting foul, so free throws will be coming up. Atlanta shooting their first free throws of the game.
And their success rate from the stripe this season, about 77%.
One of the things they've done, guys, is taken pride in their free throw shooting this season, and rightfully so.
A big step forward once again for Jeff Teague last season. He continued to up his scoring and assist totals and had one of his best years from the free throw line to date. I don't know who was supposed to be on him there, but clearly a mistake by the defense.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, Mike Woodson gave me a moment to catch up with him. We talked about the keys to this game, and he singled out Paul Millsap as a player they've simply got to be mindful of. Coach told me he's always been an energy guy, someone you have to locate and box out every possession. But he's developed his offensive game to the point where he's more than just a hustle guy. He's also a scoring threat now, and a guy we can't leave open. They'll be watching him, Kevin.
And thanks for that story, Doris. And Steve, back to Teague. He's working on that outside shooting, but as a point guard, you know, Clark, he's very effective around the rim with those little in-between shots you like so much.
Kevin, I love the arsenal he has, and every point guard needs to have those runners, floaters, flippers, I call them. You've got to have that. You're not always going to be able to get to the rim against such, you know, against bigger guys. And Steve also mentioned his good free throw percentage, so the more he can get himself to the line, the better for him and his team. A lot of high hopes for the Knicks in last year's playoffs. They started off so hot, but then let the series against Boston drag on, and eventually went to 7 games, and they fell to the Pacers in the second round after that.
Bargnani is checked in for the Knicks. Mon Shepard is coming for Amari Stoudemire.
You just assume he's going to knock those down when he's as open as he was there.
Pass to Dudley. Here's the three. Gets the bucket. And the Boston series did drag on him, you could tell. You wonder if they were a bit fatigued going into that Pacers series. Steve, Indiana just outplayed him, outworked him in every way in the second round.
Yeah, I think it was a factor, Kevin, and really the Knicks have only themselves to blame. They had Boston down 3-1 and a home game to close it out, but they couldn't get it done. And there's no doubt that affected them against Indiana in the next series.
Mr. Clutch And count the bucket. And that reminds me, did you guys see him in the last press conference?
I saw him, Kevin, and I thought it was interesting. He talked about what an honor it was to get that type of recognition. Talked about how he's dreamt about playing in the NBA and being on magazine covers since he was a little kid. But he doesn't want it to change his focus, you know, and it's easy to do. Once you start feeling pretty happy about the way things are going, maybe you forget about the effort that it took to get there in the first place.
You know, I think his approach is a good way to keep it, you know, in the right perspective, Steve. We've got 1:48 left here in the first quarter. Hardaway, pass to Mr. Clutch. That drops and it comes off the assist from Hardaway. And that's 12 points for Mr. Clutch.
He's just been the man since the start of this quarter, and just a tremendous period of basketball for him.
The pass to Ontic. Here's Schroeder. He kicks it to Matt. Leads him in there. No luck. The Knicks go the other way with it. Their last game, a win against Boston, looking to carry it into this one.
It seemed like they hit every big shot they had in that game. Kevin, their offense was clicking, but really clutch in big moments.
That's ideally the way you want it to unfold on the road, Steve. Don't even give the fans a chance to get into the game.
And Atlanta has possession after the miss from Mr. Clutch. And the officials call over the back. A little too aggressive there. A little over. Here in the second quarter, about 3 minutes played. New York moving the ball around. And the Knicks miss again. The Hawks have gone 5 of 12 from the field here in the second.
Jared Dudley out of Boston College in his 7th season already. A smart vet who knows where to be defensively. He knocks down shots. I like his game. He's a winning player because he does a lot of little things and is always ready to step into his role.
On the court right now for the Hawks. Millsap at power forward with Horford at center. Then there's Teague. Then there's Jared Dudley. And for Jared Dudley, Steve, you had a chance to be around him in your time in Phoenix.
Yeah, traded for him. That was the Raja Bell, Boris Diaw for Jason Richardson and Dudley trade. Pretty good deal for both teams, really. But Dudley came into his own when he arrived in Phoenix. Developed that three-point shot, but had always been a guy respected for his defense, for his work ethic, and his basketball IQ.
Former ACC Player of the Year. The Atlanta Hawks coming to this one after the win against the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, that was a strange game. Very shaky defensive performance by their opponent, but hey, they took advantage of it.
Yeah, I'd go along with that. I mean, the game wasn't handed to them, but they definitely didn't have to work as hard as they should have.
And just over 3.5 minutes play here in the second quarter. And J.R. Smith picks up the foul. That's his first foul. Outside Teague. Takes the elbow jumper and drains it. Teague's got 8.
Easy buckets, guys, are best gotten in transition. The Hawks were very good in that department, and it's how they were able to be a playoff team even while losing the players that they did before last season.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Thanks, guys. Mr. Clutch in their last game against the Celtics looked really strong. He ended with 25 points and added a couple of rebounds with that. This game is just the latest performance in what has been a hot streak for him. Will he bring the fire tonight, guys?
Thank you, Doris. He was the player they leaned on that night, Steve, and he didn't disappoint him.
No, he didn't. In fact, he did everything they asked of him and more. And I think he really enjoys being that go-to guy for them.
Yeah, I think he relishes that because he knows he's capable of doing it. He's had some performances that have...
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
The weekend is in full swing on
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back. Stoudemire against Millsap. And Dudley kicks to Millsap. The Knicks pull it in. Chandler's got his 6th rebound on the night. There's a victory here for the home team last time these guys met.
I thought the way they attacked the rim and got into the paint was phenomenal. It seemed like after a while, the defense just kind of waved the white flag.
That's exactly what will happen when the team continues to attack the goal and come away with layups. It demoralizes the defense.
Our second half of basketball, and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. And New York, looking at who they got. Anthony, Stoudemire, and Chandler will front line. Mr. Clutch out there with J.R. Smith. Pass to Bullock. The feed to Millsap. He's against Stoudemire. And the rejection by Stoudemire. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Hawks will retain possession. And we're just about a minute and a half into the third quarter of basketball. Clock at 6. Millsap passes to Teague. Chandler with the steal. And here's Smith. He's got 12. Here's Mr. Clutch. It's good. The assist that time from Smith. And it's an 8-point Knicks lead.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
Now here's Teague. He's covered closely. Dishes it to Horford. And Chandler sends it back. One-on-one fast break. Feeds to Carmelo. And he can't extend the lead to double digits.
He's yet to make an impact from the field, but his team is taking care of business.
Dudley dishes to Teague. Buries it from three-point range. Teague's got 11 points.
Guys, he shot a very good percentage today, and they've needed it. Well, Mike Budenholzer, you know, the new coach of the Hawks, spent 19 years with the San Antonio Spurs, including 17 as an assistant. Well, you couldn't ask for a better teaching ground than that. That's been their bread and butter in the second half. They've really knocked down their long-range shots.
Well, and as hot as they've been, there's no need to change their offense. Just continue to play the way you're playing. You're going to get open looks.
The dish to Millsap. Working on Stoudemire. He feeds it to Teague. He passes it to Horford. And the defense didn't have position. They whistle a blocking foul, and he'll go to the line. And back to Budenholzer, who was with the Spurs for 19 years. Steve, the Spurs, the winningest team in pro sports over the last 15 years.
Yeah, I'm glad that Budenholzer has finally gotten his chance. I played for him for 4 seasons. He's a guy who loves the game. He's very dedicated, hardworking, and has learned from probably the best coach in the NBA during his time in San Antonio.
Here's Mr. Clutch, and the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line.
Tell you what, I'd love to know how many of his assists have come by way of a screen and roll, because when he's the cutter on that play, inevitably one of his teammates winds up with a layup courtesy of one of his passes off the screen.
And another one of his really special talents is coming up with steals at the moment a ball handler picks up his dribble and is getting into a shooting motion. He's got excellent timing in that regard.
Very well executed pick to give him all kinds of space to get that one off.
Well, for a long time for the New York fans, going to see a Knicks game was an exercise in masochism, but they've turned it around in a big way, and now this is a tough place to play for a road team.
Millsap sets the pick for Teague. Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, guys, Andrea Bargnani, the #1 overall pick back in 2006, but he hasn't been a star caliber player in the NBA. Injuries have played a role, certainly, but his defense and rebounding have been the biggest problems. A former coach of his with the Raptors said it just didn't seem like he had enough passion for the game, that it wasn't important enough to him. Some pretty harsh words, but guys, sometimes for 7-footers, the game finds them. And defense and rebounding, certainly not the glamorous parts of this game. Kevin will see if he ever realizes his potential.
And hope for the best. Thanks, Doris. And Clark, that's what winning's going to do for you. The Knicks had the second best home record in the East last season as they won 31 games here.
Well, you know, Kevin, there's so much mystique here in this building. I mean, everybody loves to play in New York. It's the mecca for basketball in this country. And when NBA players come into New York, They can't wait to play against this Knicks team, and the Knicks, they want to defend their home floor.
Here's Shumpert. Solid play in the low block, and that one's good. Shumpert's got his first points of the game.
Defender a little hesitant to offer resistance as he bursts to the hoop.
And Mack gets to Corbin. He dishes it to Mack. And look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for New York.
You know, one of the big stories has been the three ball. It's been a key part of their offense throughout the game.
Now, it seems to me that they're taking a lot of pride in their rebounding tonight, especially at the offensive end, guys.
And the Hawks making a change here. Martin's checked in. Out of bounds, Atlanta will take possession. And a quick look now at the NBA scoring leaders. And you look at Mr. Clutch, a top 5 scorer in the league. What a player he is.
And his contribution to this team, I mean, can't be understated. His scoring on a night-in, night-out basis has been fantastic.
1:09 left to play in the third. Here's Mack, averaging 6 points per contest. Korver kicks to Schroeder. A finger roll finish at the bucket. Schroeder's got his second bucket.
You can see that they're not as aggressive from the three-point arc. They had far more attempts in the first half.
Here's Mr. Clutch, defended by Schroeder. By the way, no good.
Most of the time, that shot will go down. Boy, the defenders have to make sure they tag him.
Kicks it to Mack. Uncovered in Atlanta again with the bucket.
And it feels like the energy has just picked up big time here. Both teams now feeding off each other's intensity.
I don't know what was said in the locker rooms at halftime, Steve, but it's obvious both sides have responded well.
Paul Millsap's checked in for Atlanta. Out of bounds, Atlanta takes possession.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
Hawks have gone a solid 6 of 11 when shooting here in the third quarter. Guys, a potent offense right now.
Yeah, Kevin, really the offense is flowing quite nicely right now.
Playing with a lot of confidence, just some self-assurance. I like what we're seeing.
That gives them the lead. Mack's got his third basket of the night right there. Here's Mr. Clutch. No good there. And the game still closely contested as we end the third quarter. Hawks ahead. They lead by 1.
Tune in Monday, December 6th.
All right, we welcome you back to what's been a hard-fought battle. Fourth quarter should be good. And a breakdown here, guys, the hustle stats for the Hawks.
Guys, one of the themes in this game has been how much of their scoring has come off turnovers.
And they're also really getting out in transition and scoring some hoops in the fast break tonight.
Fourth quarter on the court for the Hawks. Millsap at power forward with Horford at center. Then there's Jared Dudley. Then there's Teague. Pass to Bullock. He kicks it to Millsap. Chandler on him. The jump hook. Tyson Chandler grabs the board. Chandler's got rebound number 8 now on the night. Here's Mr. Clutch. Teague covering for 3. And again, New York with the triple.
This is incredible. It's been a three-point barrage since halftime.
Yeah, whether by design or by accident, it has been impressive.
Fourth quarter of basketball. We're about a minute into it. And the basket good.
This is great. Three-pointers going down quickly at both ends.
Yeah, it took them no time to answer back on that possession.
Here's Mr. Clutch. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
For the last decade or so, Atlanta has been pretty consistent. Always seems to find a way to get to the playoffs, and part of that is they've been pretty good against the Eastern Conference.
Stoudemire's checked in for Iman Shumpert. And for Atlanta last season, 29 wins against the rest of the conference. Steve, not an amazing total, but ending up over 500 usually gets you a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference.
And a lot of people worried that they would fall out of the picture last year after they traded away Joe Johnson. You know, they're not a team that can contend for a title, particularly not now with the departure of Josh Smith. But, hey, they're relevant in the East, and they've got some good young talent.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Yes, guys, Mike Budenholzer had some words for his team. He told his players, guys, we're letting opportunities slip away in transition. Let's push it up the floor, look to score some points in early offense. Kevin, can they pick up the tempo?
Thanks a lot, Doris. Outside Anthony. On the wing, Chandler. New York moving the ball around. And the Knicks miss again. Atlanta's gotten 2/3 of their three-pointers to fall tonight. They're 6 of 9 overall. Passes to Dudley. Here's Bullock, covered by Smith. And now the Knicks on the break. Smith's running. The shot's good for Mr. Clutch. Mr. Clutch has got 16 points here in the second half.
His work at the offensive end has been phenomenal. Maybe reason number one, they're ahead.
Bullock passes to Millsap. Lays it up and banks it in.
Well, they were sleeping on defense. The defense really didn't do its job. I mean, a little slow to react to the ball getting into the paint. That's costly.
Well, and at this stage of such a tight game, I think this is when tired legs start to show. And the defense can become vulnerable in the low block.
And there's the pass to Bullock. Another three for Atlanta.
Now, halftime was exactly what they needed, as they have shot the ball much better coming out of the break.
Yeah, they have looked a lot better this half. I don't know what it was. Perhaps they changed the rims, unbeknownst to us, but something changed.
Shot's good for Mr. Clutch.
He had a whole lot of space to get that shot.
Yeah, I don't think the defender did a good job there of getting over the top of the screen.
It's his fourth foul, and I'm sure he picked it up a little earlier than he would have liked.
Teague, the pass to Bullock. Millsap a screen on Smith. And there's the feed to Millsap. Puts the lead pass in front of him. It's stolen by Stoudemire. Up the floor.
Look out.
Man, he got fancy with that one, didn't he?
Yeah, maybe trying to give them the momentum boost they need to break this game open.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, some coaches might want to see just a sure-handed lay-in, but I say put as much as you can on the finish and get your teammates going.
Pass to Bullock. Dishes to Dudley. Feeds it to Horford. Pass to Bullock. Kicks to Dudley. 5 to shoot. Atlanta gets it back. Millsap. The baseline J off the mark. The Knicks with the lead. Here's Mr. Clutch. Now the dish to Smith. Passes it to Mr. Clutch. It's rebounded by Paul Millsap.
The defense needs to play tight on him, and that's exactly what they did to force that miss. Well done.
It's rebounded by New York. Their biggest lead of the game was 9. Tries from 16. No good off the front iron. Atlanta's gone 2 or 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. Bullock passes to Teague. He passes to Dudley. He feeds it to Horford. All sorts of time, and the shot is good.
That's a clean look they gave him there, fellas, and he drains those.
Here's Mr. Clutch. Stoudemire with a screen on Teague. Mr. Clutch, the pass to Smith. Here's Mr. Clutch, defended by Bullock. No good for Mr. Clutch.
In this quarter, he's really been off the mark. He just looks a little bit unsettled.
Outside Teague. Teague gets a screen from Horford. Teague, the pass to Bullock. Into Al Horford. Chandler with the steal. There's Mr. Clutch. We've got 28 seconds left in the game. Connects!
Ooh, a pressure basket right there.
Now that's coming through in the clutch.
Dudley dishes to Teague. Horford sets a screen for Teague. The shot is off. Nice D from Mr. Clutch. And they commit an intentional foul. This is another one of those so they can get into the penalty.
Well, you do what you have to do to extend this game and try to get the ball back.
In this situation, clock management crucial.
And no good as the first free throw missing for him. We'll see if he can nail the second. And the second of 2 is good. That makes it a 3-point lead. "17 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Outside Teague for 3. Bullseye! And oh, that was an enormous three-pointer. Seven seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Anthony. It's off.
Well, they had a foul to give, but they couldn't get it done before that shot attempt.
Yeah, and giving up free throws isn't ideal here, Steve. You know that, but at least they got the clock stopped.
And he hits both free throws here. So now it's a 2-point ball game.
A cold-blooded trip to the line there. They're just one stop away from winning this thing now.
So close game sees New York take this one. Clark, it was anybody's game right to the very end.
Yeah, it was. The coach is happy with the outcome, maybe not so much with the margin.
Well, it's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. Now it's time to present our Jordan Player of the Game,